Okay, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun. Today we're doing Masechah Shabbos, Perek Tes Zayin. Mishnah is Beis and Gimel. Mishnah Beis and Gimel really talk about the same thing. A fire has ravaged our house on Shabbos, and like we learned in Mishnah Aleph, you're allowed to save certain things. You're allowed to save svarim with a shem to Hashem. You're allowed to save. And now we talk about saving food because you need to eat food on Shabbos. You have all your food in your refrigerator. You want to have food on Shabbos. Your house is going to be burnt down. You're not to extinguish a fire on Shabbos. Now, I don't know if this is so posh that you can't extinguish a fire on Shabbos. You can't call the fire department to extinguish the fire for you on Shabbos. You're going to lose a huge house, all your sentimental stuff, and a lot of possessions. I don't know if you have insurance or not. I don't think the halacha differentiates whether you have house insurance or not house insurance. You could lose your entire house if you don't have home insurance. So, key boy to extinguish a fire, I don't know. And I would say like this, that if you have to call the fire department to extinguish your house, I think to extinguish the fire, I think that would be a problem because that's something like, a big idea, a big deal. And it's like, firemen get paid for their job. So it's like engaging in business-like activities. I think if it's a small fire, right, your candles tip over, something like that, to prevent a bigger fire, I think there's no problem in doing that because you're saving your house, a personal thing. Anyone could spill a bucket of water on a small fire to extinguish it. So if it's become a huge fire, there's really nothing you can do about it. But small fire, preventative measures, I think people should know that you're allowed to do it. I think it should be mutter. Anyway, let's say we're discussing a case where the fire is ravaging our house. You have to call the fire department. So you can't call the fire department. So, and a lot of times if it's that big of a fire, there's nothing you really could do anyway. So you're allowed to save food on Shabbos. So the Mishnah base is you can save how much food you can save. You can save enough for 3 meals on Shabbos. Because you need to eat meals on Shabbos. Mishnah Gimel adds that when you want to save food, if you don't have small bottles of wine, you can save a big barrel of wine. Or maybe if you do have small bottles of wine, you could say you can do harama. You can make a trick, a subterfuge, and say no, I want the wine from the bigger barrel. And you want to save a lot of wine. Or I want to save a basket full of 100 loaves of bread, even though I have, 6 small challah rolls, a subterfuge or something like that. Or you can say to people, come and save from hefker, let other people save the food for you, in which case, right, they can save a lot more than the 3 meals. So the Mishnah Gimel ends, where can you save, can you violate any surah when you take the food out? So the Chachamim say you can only save the chatzar me'ureves, only to someone else's yard if you have an eruv. You can't violate any surah d'Rabbanan over here, right? But Masera says you can save to she'ein me'ureves. We don't pass on like Masera, but we pass, and you could violate Issa d'Rabbanan. You can't violate Issa d'Rabbanan over here. The whole question in Mishnah is Beis and Gimel, how much you allowed to save? Because Chazal said if you save too much, you might come to extinguish the flame. It's a gzeira. You might come to call the fire department and extinguish the flame, and that's a problem. But if you want to save, you can't violate any Isur D'Rabbanan. I would venture to say that the reason that only in Mishnah Gimel we see the Chachamim and Bein Basir talking about where you can save to, I would say in Mishnah Beis that you violate an Isur D'Rabbanan, because Mishnah Beis is talking about the minimum, right? You're not doing a subterfuge. You're not saving a big barrel of wine or a basket full of 100 loaves of bread, or telling other people to save every possession in my house. Right, we're talking about the bare minimum over here. The enough you need for 3 sudos, right? And we even pass on the Chum, not like Rabbi Yossi, that if it's already at mincha time, you can only save 1 suda, right? Because you only need 1 suda. And we're talking about the reason you're able to save 3 sudas is because it's a mitzvah on Shabbos to have a meal, at least bread, or part of a meal, to have a nice meal. The more you're able to do, the more responsible you are to have a fancier meal on Shabbos. The chiyuv of having meals on Shabbos is maybe they're Rabbanan, maybe they'll Raisa. There's a discussion for a different time. We'll discuss it in a couple of Prakim, Masechah Shabbos. But there's at least a Chiyuv Rabbanan to have 3 meals on Shabbos, Shalosh Sudas. During the first 2 meals, you have to have bread, a kazayas of bread. The 3rd meal, you don't technically have to have, you'll have chila, you should have kazayas of bread, according to the halacha, according to the poskim, but you should have, but you have it at least have a kazayas of mini targima, fruits and vegetables, something, to give it importance. And this is important during the winter months where you already ate the main meal in the early afternoon. Now you're gonna have 2 hours later, you're not gonna have such a fancy meal, but you'll have a kazayas of something That's a mitzvah d'Rabbanan, mitzvah d'Oraisa. So just like we learned in Mishnah Aleph, when it comes to muksa, when it comes to bizayon kisvei hakodesh, right? You want to save gemaras, right? To bizayon for kisvei hakodesh. I don't know if that's an issue d'Oraisa, if that is a problem d'Rabbanan or d'Oraisa. I think kavod for svarim is maybe in d'Rabbanan, but we're giving kavod to the Shem Hashem. It's not mechikas Hashem, because you weren't mochik the Shem. It's grum. It happened by itself. The fire is extinguishing it. So bizayon kisvei hakodesh is maybe d'Rabbanan. You have a responsibility to put kisvei hakodesh in geniza, right? Gemara in Megillah says tashmishe kedusha niknazin, right? To put in geniza. I don't know if that's a din d'Rabbanan or a din d'Oraisa, but for a sorech, which is din d'Rabbanan d'Oraisa, we allow you to violate a Mishnah Al. We allow you to violate muksa, or according to the Chum, even to bring to a chatzar she'ena mo'ureves. I believe also Mishnah Beis also, you'd be allowed to violate this d'Rabbanan to bring to a chatzar she'ena mo'ureves, as long as it's muksa or chatzar she'ena mo'ureves, not a maboi, which is a gzeira d'Oraisa. I think also for the saving enough food for the meals on Shabbos, you should be able to have your own meals on Shabbos, which is achiv d'Rabbanan or d'Oraisa. You should be allowed to. Mishnah Gimel is only talking about saving much more than you need for the meals, right? A basket full of 100 loaves of bread, or saying to other people, save everything in my house, which is not necessary for achiv d'Rabbanan d'Oraisa. Then you can only save to a chatzar me'ureves according to the Chachamim. You can't violate this d'Rabbanan. I think that is a correct explanation. I hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.